The Buffs didn't just lose to UCLA. Some players say they lost more in the locker room. Police in Pasadena are investigating a report that several items disappeared during the game Saturday night. On the Well Off Media YouTube channel run by Deion Sanders Jr., this video posted yesterday recapped the game, including several players reporting their jewelry was stolen from the locker room. UCLA's athletic department confirmed a report was filed to Pasadena police and that they were in communication with police, Rose Bowl officials, and CU. Nothing new to report as of yet.
A walking lick. Down south, that's what you call a walking lick. Prime should have knew better had these boys take their chains and valuables to a different state, let alone in a state like California. It's wild out there right now. Wolves out there looking at them like lunch meat. But you the company you keep, man. Coach Prime invited a lot of celebrities and entertainers around this locker room, especially rappers. You know, that remind me of that Kendrick Lamar song that Institutionalized. Y'all peep that out. It's pretty much about a rapper who made it big, but his partners are still in the streets. So they looking at rappers' environments as a gold mine. You know, we could rob and steal all these niggas. As Kendrick said, it's a recession. Why the fuck he at King of Diamonds, you know? But that's the dilemma that Prime have on his hands right now. He mixing the streets with the professional world. And these things happen when you flashy and high profile. The Deion Sanders Colorado experiment is a big success despite the record and the come from behind loss, especially the Stanford game. That was terrible. The brother generated millions of dollars for his school, himself, and his family, all in and off the field. And that's what men's supposed to do, and I commend him for that. But heavy is the head that wears the crown. Everybody comes for the king, not just endorsement deals, but critics, dick riders and robbers. And the dick riders, they're the worst of the bunch because they have a liberal mindset. They shake your hand while having a knife in another. And make no mistake, Deion is part of the program. The brother is a Freemason. No different than the talking heads that promote him, like Stephen H. Smith, Shannon Sharp, even Skip Bayless. And you notice by them going out their way to not to criticize a member of the Brotherhood.
They lost this game because they're an undisciplined football team. 17 penalties for 129 yards. 4 times they got caught with too many men on the field. 17 penalties. At what point in time, because I heard Coach Prime game after game, we got to stop the penalties. We got to stop the penalties. We got to stop the penalties. And this is an undisciplined football team. And at some point in time, you guys are going to have to realize, you know what? We got to clean our act up. We're not good enough to overcome the mistakes that we keep committing.
And I'm sick of looking at Prime Time and acting like he was all flash and that he just lived off his talent. He was incredibly disciplined.
Yes.
He was incredibly committed. He was incredibly focused. I'm seeing a bunch of dudes that are playing for him. They get caught up in the shine, and they got caught up in all the notoriety that came their way, especially the son who we both love.
Yes.
But come on now, you got to show up week in and week out and exercise that level of discipline. And you can't have stories out there about how you posted something at halftime for your merch on social media. At halftime?
At halftime, I also...
And I fucks with Deion, I do. You know, especially the way that how you handle them younger brothers. But look, all the excuses they just made for Deion. Any other coach would have got dragged for that. Up by 20 points on Stafford to being one of the most penalized teams in college football. You would think those TV characters would say that that's a reflection of coaching. But they won't critique their brother even when he throw his own offensive lineman under the bus.
You mentioned the coaching aspect of it as well.
Yes, sir.
Specifically with the offensive line, I mean, what has to improve in that aspect besides from...
The line has to improve. It ain't no aspect. The line has to improve.
I just asked that in terms of the big picture, trying to keep Shedeur upright, healthy, and overall.
The big picture, you go get new linemen. That's the picture, and I'm going to paint it perfectly.
You can't tell me any other coach would have got roasted for that, bro. Especially on the college level. This isn't professional ball. This is amateur. Winning is everything in sports, but not at the expense of your own players. But the media blames everybody but Prime. And the coach, he got to wear that on his jacket. His team just lack discipline. But they have all the swag in the world. Something he has a Hall of Fame player who had both. But like Prime said himself, and he asked his players, do you love the game or do you like the game? But the game is more corporate now. And this great game is terrifying. Because now you're dealing with players with not only egos, but with money. The NIL changed the game, man, and I'm glad it happened because college players was getting to reap of the rewards that the institutions benefited from for decades. But the players coming up today are different from when Prime came up. They single mother raised, but we're more emotional, more confused on what real manhood is about. Real to them is a rapper that comes into the locker room with all his chains on, rapping about hoes and material possessions. That's something Prime can't compete with, so he has to associate himself with that kind of visual. But he's starting to see that these kids don't have the mentality he had when he was their age. Social media, the TikTok, the Instagram, stun these kids' growth. They live their lives online so much that the outside world, the real world, is an illusion. And that's the challenge Deion has. You could dictate the life of your own child, but dealing with another man's child who grew up fatherless, don't view a man as an authority figure, especially a black man. His mother and his favorite rapper has more influence over his life. But what he does have influence over is his own sons, Shiloh and Shador. And without Shador this season, it would have been even worse for Prime. Everybody know in college you need an offensive line and defensive line to compete with a top 5 power school. Shador can't do it all without that, even with a Travis Hunter type of player at his arsenal. So now Prime put his son in a position where if he don't play good, the team won't win. And that's a lot of pressure for the brother because the narrative is already played out for the critics. If he win, he's the best QB prospect in college. Or if he lose, they blame the supporting cast, his teammates, his offensive line, everybody around him, not the coaches, and damn sure not Prime. Deion is the golden goose for all the television networks and other sponsors. That's why the NCAA will push so hard to get Colorado to a bowl game. And that's because of the hype and viewership that they'll generate. And Colorado, no doubt, they're an exciting team. And that's only based on the performance of one player. The quarterback, the coach's son, one of the most high-paid players in college players in the country, period, with the NIL deal. And that's why Prime changed the offensive coordinator. It's not because they need a change of pace or the offensive line. That was bullshit. It was because Shador's stats were starting to decline. First 40 games of the season, the brother was averaging over 400 yards per game. After that, his efficiency went down, way down, which could hurt Shador long-term prospects for the NFL and other pros. But right now, it's like Prime is doing what's best for his son and his favorite players over what's best for the team. And I understand you want what's best for your children, but the parents you convicted, the parents that you convince and recruit their child, they want the best for them too. But as I say, man, good fortune to the Buffaloes on the back half of the season. We'll see what happened then on part 2, but for sure I'll be with y'all next time.